The opening scene shows the Amari siblings dressed in black wetsuits at the beach. Ren, the sister, is eager to swim, but her brother Jared is hesitant, fearing the high tides. However, after some encouragement, he joins her in the water, and they both enjoy themselves. The scene then shifts to a dynamic, changing pattern, showing a view from a building's window. Ren wakes up with a stream of black fluid dripping from her eye. She's sitting on the floor surrounded by empty plastic eye drop containers. Ren is the lead researcher at a technology firm she co-founded with an entrepreneur named Sam. She developed Otherlife, a biological form of virtual reality using nanotechnology that creates realistic memories. This allows a person to experience a completely different environment with full freedom. At this stage, the product isn't available on the market, and Ren is testing it on herself, usually under the supervision of her colleague, Byron Finbar. However, unknown to others, she is also secretly testing the product on her comatose brother. It's revealed that Jared nearly drowned during their swim, and while Ren saved him, the damage to his brain was already extensive. Since that day, Ren has carried the burden of guilt for her brother's condition. In the following scene, Ren is seen with a drug administration team, where one of the interviewers mentions her impressive academic record, which ended 4 years ago. Ren explains it was due to the accident where her brother almost drowned. The panel struggles with classifying Otherlife, but Ren describes it as biological software rather than a drug. She elaborates that it programs new experiences, chemically indistinguishable from reality. The interviewers also bring up Ren's father, who had raised concerns about the dangers of prolonged exposure to her technology, including risks of seizures and brain death. Ren admits there are risks, pointing out that the abuse of anything, even an apple, can be harmful. Later, Ren is experimenting with a snowboarding experience where she climbs a snowy mountain and then descends. However, the program encounters a technical issue, causing the experience to loop. When she wakes up, Ren realizes she's been in the Otherlife world for 6 days. Despite these glitches, she remains confident that she can fix the issues and that Otherlife will become a popular product. Meanwhile, the entrepreneur Sam is pitching the concept of Otherlife to investors, promoting it as a near-instantaneous experience that can last for days. After the meeting, Sam and Ren clash over the company's future direction. Ren is overwhelmed with problems, and in the midst of it all, her romantic relationship with a coworker named Danny suffers due to her lack of time. Later that night, Ren and Byron successfully pinpoint the error in the code and test the updated version without any further issues. It seems that she has completed 482 tests, each one corresponding to roughly 20 days in Otherlife. A few days later, Ren returns to the hospital to try the Otherlife on her brother again, and this time his eye twitches, giving her a sliver of hope. Unfortunately, when she mentions it to the doctor, he tells her that this is a common occurrence in comatose patients. The next day, Ren visits her father, a professor at a college. They discuss Otherlife and its potential to help Jared come out of his coma. Ren is confident that the glitches in the technology are simply due to bad code, but her father disagrees. He argues that mental conditions like anxiety and depression are also a kind of bad code. Ren becomes upset with her father, feeling that he has given up on her brother, and warns him not to unplug Jared without her permission. However, the old man dismisses her concerns and walks away. While at work, Sam and Byron discover that the amount of nanites being used is much higher than what Ren has reported. They ask her what simulation she's been running, but she doesn't give them any details, saying that it's still experimental. A little while later, Sam and Ren are alone when he shares his latest idea. He wants the government to license their product as an alternative to prisons. According to Sam, inmates could be trapped inside their own minds for years, while only a minute passes in real time, which would help with prison overcrowding. However, Ren firmly rejects the idea, saying it's not suitable. After this, she leaves the building and runs into Danny. The two haven't seen each other in a long time, so they decide to spend some time together. After they are done being intimate, Ren lets him try the snowboarding experience in Otherlife, which he thoroughly enjoys. Afterward, she goes back to work while Danny grabs another eye drop and uses it, not realizing that it's the experimental one designed for Jared. This leads to violent seizures, and when Ren notices, she immediately calls 911. Unfortunately, Danny doesn't survive. In the following scene, when Sam finds out about the incident, he confronts Ren and angrily questions her about the experience that caused Danny's death. It appears that all the experiences have been thoroughly tested and approved, except for that one. This results in a major backlash in the media, and the authorities are close to shutting down the company. However, Sam is determined to prevent this. Using his influence and resources, he negotiates a deal in which the government agrees to drop all charges, but in return, Ren must spend 1 year of solitary confinement in other life. When Ren learns of this, she is furious that Sam went behind her back and commercialized the idea. However, for the sake of the company, she agrees to participate. Following this, they all proceed to the testing room, where Byron administers the eye drop to Ren. In an instant, she finds herself in a small room equipped with basic necessities, including bottled water, canned tuna, a sleeping mat, a tablet, a pen, and a toilet. Ren begins to spend her time exercising, eating, and taking notes on her tablet. The room she is confined in also has a screen showing the number of days she has spent there. For the first few days, Ren is depressed, thinking about Danny and her brother. But as time passes, she becomes hopeful that she can still bring her brother back using codes. Eventually, a year passes, and Ren expects to return to the real world. However, she breaks down when the confinement counter resets to 001 without her release. This is when Ren realizes that the exit code has failed, leading her to panic. She screams and destroys things around her in a fit of rage. Soon after, she discovers a gap inside the hatch, which she pries open to make her way out. As Ren exits the confinement room, she finds herself in a storage area with food and water, as well as a monitoring room where she was being observed. This makes her realize that she had been trapped in a real-world prison all along. At that moment, a guard rushes toward her, but Ren is determined not to remain confined any longer. She steals a vehicle and escapes the area. Outside, Ren notices a busy street with other life advertisements everywhere. Alarmed, she heads to her workplace, only to find it deserted. She then goes to the police station, where the officer shockingly reveals that Ren has been documented living in Italy for the past year. Upon hearing this, she tries to explain that she is the co-founder of Other Life and has been held captive in a cell for the past year. However, when they go to investigate the cell, it has already vanished. This makes the police skeptical of her story, so they simply ask her to return home. Feeling lost and unsure of whom to trust, Ren goes to the apartment she used to live in, but she finds someone else living there. A short while later, Sam shows up and offers to take her somewhere safe, but Ren, who no longer trusts him, runs away. She then seeks refuge with her trustworthy colleague, Cass, who lets her in and provides her with food. After some time, Cass reveals that everyone assumed Ren had cashed out and moved to Italy. It was apparently a rumor that the cunning Sam had spread to avoid suspicion. At this point, Ren is struggling to process everything around her, but Cass finally shares some good news. She discloses that Danny is actually alive. He never died as the doctors managed to resuscitate him a week after Ren's imprisonment. That night, the couple finally reunites, and they promise never to leave each other again. Later, the trio heads to a restaurant where they discuss the events of the past year. Ren discovers that Other Life has become a major success and is currently being used for various purposes, including long-term confinements. She then decides to get to the bottom of what happened, and Danny suggests she go to the media and expose Sam. However, Ren says she doesn't have any evidence against him. In the next scene, using Cass's ID card, Ren and Danny sneak into the Other Life building and start searching for her previous data. Inside, they encounter Byron, who is also revealed to be one of the conspirators behind the entire scandal. Danny immediately restrains him, allowing Ren to search for the data. Shortly after, she manages to locate the hard drive, but by this time, Byron has already alerted security. The couple somehow manages to flee the scene, after which they get into a car. Along the way, Ren reveals that they will need a printer to prepare the chemical, but since all the Other Life offices in the city are on high alert, they cannot go there. Suddenly, she remembers that she had kept one at her father's home in the woods, so the couple quickly heads there. Upon arriving, they find the house empty, and Ren gets to work. She spends the entire night trying to prepare the chemical, and in the process, she falls asleep. The next day, Ren's father returns home, and she confides in him about everything. This time, the old man is willing to support her mission. Now, with renewed determination, Ren gets back to work, and it doesn't take her long to create a new, more advanced prototype of other life. Wasting no time, she drives to the hospital and administers it to her brother. Surprisingly, the chemical works, and Jared wakes up, making Ren very happy. However, her joy is short-lived as the poor guy suddenly starts having seizures. When the situation worsens, a distraught Ren pulls the plug, finally allowing her brother to pass away in peace. Just when it seems that the drama is over, Ren starts experiencing fragmented memories of the testing room, with people yelling and Byron urging her to wake up. It is revealed that her supposed escape was part of an other-life glitch during her year-long imprisonment. This means that all her post-incarceration experiences were also part of an interactive other-life experience. Now, Ren finds herself alone on the beach, and she walks into the water, letting the waves wash over her. The water transforms into kaleidoscopic imagery, and she suddenly awakens in the testing room. After going through all of this, Ren takes some time to calm down before heading to Sam's cabin. She then announces that she will take a break from the company to focus on R&D. She will leave the company to Sam, but will retain the patent. Later, after Ren attends Danny's funeral, she suddenly gets a call from Sam, asking her to come to the testing room to see something important. When she arrives, she finds Sam and Byron reviewing her experience. The cunning entrepreneur points out a section of her brain scan that corresponds to her interactive experience. He claims that she somehow managed to miraculously escape the virtual prison, which could represent a significant breakthrough for their future plans. Sam now insists that she participate in yet another test to gather more definitive results, but when Ren refuses, he suddenly administers the chemical into her eyes, forcing her back into the same cell. Byron reluctantly agrees when Sam asserts that it's the only way to secure Ren's cooperation. In the alternate reality, Ren manages to calm herself, allowing the simulation to speed up and loop endlessly. Soon after, she wakes up on her own in the real world, successfully escaping the virtual prison for a second time. However, this time, an enraged Ren isn't going to let things slide so easily. She wipes the chemical from her eyes and swiftly administers it into Sam's, trapping him in his own year-long other-life imprisonment. The program encounters a glitch that puts his life at risk, but Ren refuses to let Sam escape until he has served the full 365 days. She even waits a few extra days to ensure he experiences her torment when the countdown resets to 0. After Sam eventually recovers, Ren leaves him sobbing in the chair. The movie concludes as she and her father head to the hospital, tearfully unplugging Jared's life support. Ren then visits the same beach, gazing at the ocean and reminiscing about the cherished moments spent with her late brother.
Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.